Namaste everyone. This is M. Srinivasu, English faculty from DAV High School, Anandapur Township. At first, I heartily welcome you all for the Class 10th Unit 1 interaction with the theme called Personality Development. Now we are in B reading called Every Success Story is Also a Story of Great Failures. And we are in the middle of the interaction. Let me read the lines that we are discussing today, and before we get into some more comprehension of it. Below are more examples of the failures of successful people. Thomas Edison failed approximately 10,000 times when he was working on the light bulb. Henry Ford was broke at the age of 40. Lee Iacocca was fired by Henry Ford too at the age of 54. Ennio Beethoven was told that he had no talent for music, but he gave some of the best music to the world. Setbacks are inevitable in life. A setback can act as a driving force and also teach us humility. In grief, you will find courage and faith to overcome the setback. We need to learn to become victors, not victims. Fear and doubt to short circuit the mind. Now coming to the first line of it. So far we have been discussing about different types of personalities with their failure stories, so that anyone can build up their own positive attitude and can have their attributes, we can say aspects that make a person a better with impressive personality development. Now coming to the other examples, that it may be revealing us that nobody on earth was seen successful without any failures. Now coming to this particular lineup, Thomas Alva Edison we have been reading in the previous paragraphs also, and at the same time he is well known to the people, especially to you, even in other subjects like sciences, for his invention called electrical bulb. However, whenever he was experimenting to find an electric bulb so that light up by the electricity, he was nearly failed more than 10,000 times. 10,000 times, though he failed, he did not give up to get it an attempt to make it successful. For every failure, you can just imagine in this case, for every failure, he was maybe filled his heart and soul with more confidence, and then he made it his second attempt, and third attempt, and fourth attempt, like that. So otherwise, a person cannot reach even to face 10,000 times. And nowadays, people want everything instant. Everything instant, even right from food to success. It should come overnight for the people. But it is not really happen in the real life situations. Success always tests the person's ability, and thus it comes to him as a crown of his hard work. So we should not go back by any kind of an attempt. If you taste a failure, disappoint, never go frustrated, but make yourself more strong to find another way to attempt it again to get successful. Next one, Henry Ford was broke at age 40. This broke is nothing but called becoming penniless. A great industrialist and a businessman of the world who was actually introduced a Ford cars which maybe even a middle class American can afford it to buy, and that particular innovative businessman was born penniless at age 40, almost bankrupt, but still he could able to manage and establish a worldwide network of automobiles, and that is really impressive. So businessman in the sense, he need money, but a businessman with no money, how can you call? He's a businessman, but still he could able to withstand again, and then he could make himself a more strong person, overcoming all the failures of his finance, and then he again established is a industry almost all the places of the world. That is very impressive. Next one, Lee Iacocca. Lee Iacocca was an engineer, was working in the Ford companies. But what happened when it is the term of Henry Ford II, there was a clash between Lee Iacocca and Henry Ford II. So Henry Ford has dismissed, he sent him out of his company. So then Lee Iacocca was a crucial figure in bringing out Ford Mustang cars of Ford company and even Ford Pinto cars from the Ford company. For these two cars innovation and these two cars establishment, Lee Iacocca contribution was great. But at the age of 54, that he was almost getting retired, so that time he was sent out of the company, so factory. So then he started searching for his own life, and he did not feel disappointed or frustrated. And with all his experience and effort and intelligence, he could able to establish another car company, that is Chrysler's Corporation, and where he was produced a number of cars in the particular company. And not only that, he himself was a writer and an author for many books, especially the book called Iacocca that deals with about his life biographical sketch elements, and that also will give us great inspiration. Here what else? Even though a person was sent out insulting at the age 54 without considering his contribution to upliftment of that particular company organization, he was not disappointed. But after he came out of the company, he established himself for another car company and could able to gain his own name and fame and establish his credentials far and wide. So this is also to be noted about Lee Iacocca. Now coming to this one, Beethoven. And Beethoven, when he was young, so let us talk about this man called Beethoven. Beethoven was a German composer. He was a German composer, and especially he was a pianist. So you might know about a piano sitting, a big size harmony it will look like. So he sits there and makes compositions. And in the beginning, people told that he had no talent for music. He is fit for nothing, people said. But it is identified that he is the main person between the periods like you see romantic era and even the other part like classical era. Romantic era and classical era between, he was produced a number of music compositions that was really mesmerizing the audience of the world. And even he had some stringed instruments compositions, symphonies and all. And there are even you can also talk about the other compositions like concerts, symphonies, and piano sonatas and string quartets. All these compositions made Beethoven was the #1 composer of music, and he was a symbol of inspiration for the music for the many people later after his life, even when he was in the life. So even more, people whenever they were said that they have no talent, they rose up like a sun and proved themselves that they can shower the name and fame all over the world. Like earlier we have seen about Walt Disney was rejected, and even here Henry Beethoven was also rejected, but he was a great man with a great sense of music, and he was produced a number of music compositions that have never been now altered or made that superior rather the compositions of Henry Beethoven. Now coming to the next one, what we can understand is setbacks are inevitable in life. Setbacks means failures here, right? So failures are very common. Like how do we breathe in a regular life? Even in our regular leading of life, we also identify setbacks. Failures are very, very common. Inevitable means unavoidable. You cannot avoid them. Unavoidable. So setbacks are inevitable. They are quite common. You cannot avoid them in life. this is a fact and this is a universal truth you can understand, so that we will not feel disappointed when there is a failure. How come it is? A setback can act as a driving force and also teach us humility, being humble. Humility means being humble. For example, you just imagine a person has not experienced any kind of darkness, then he was given complete light all over his life. He will not identify the importance of darkness, even light then. For example, if the person was shown darkness, then only he will realize the importance of light. So even more, I would like to mention here, if you don't know the feeling of hunger, you will not know the importance of the food that everyone consumes, every living organism consumes. So that is why in every religion have introduced a kind of a fasting system. Like in Islam, we can have a roza for the Ramzan month and all. Even in Hinduism, they will go with one day in a week or something like that basis, or maybe based on Ekadasa or something else they will follow. Even Christians also they will follow in the year for certain days. However, all this one will tell us how to make our food more valuable, because it is a source of living life. In the same way, even setback also is very, very important. Setback, what does setbacks do? Setbacks will act as a driving force. Driving force means they will give a more kickstart. For example, you see, a lion cannot run first the forward step. It will take a little 2 or 3 steps back, so that it can give a better jump then and a better run then. So the setting back 2 or 3 steps may give a great grip then. Similarly, the setbacks also will give you a kick start and then a better start, and then that is what we call as a driving force. Maybe you can say inspiration, or a source of inspiration that you can continue your task. That is called driving force. You can say that is what we can inspiration, motivation, and so on. And also teach us humility. Imagine a person have always success and has not been failure in his life at all. How this person would behave? You would feel proud, you would feel privileged, and you will be thinking that he is only the God on earth. So you will not know how to respect others. You will not know how to be humble towards others, and you will not be consider any kind of changes of the weather or nature, or you can say calamities also. So here in this point, what else? Whenever you are feeling proud and you taste a failure, and then you will think about your own self, and then only you will identify about giving importance for the events, or giving importance to the others, or respecting others, and so on. So that ultimately what is failures teach us humility, how to be humble. You see, we know very well, humble people are always successful. Maybe not true, but always successful people are humble. That is true. Because it is they may know when to behave, when not to behave. So they know how to behave. Generally, they are becoming successful. Even in the lesson, we are coming across about one more legendary personality called N.R. Narayan Murthy. How humble he leads a life, even his wife Sudha Murthy. So these even APJ Abdul Kalam will talk about. These persons' lives we identify from their lives to lead our life more humble. That's very, very important. And last, what else? Whenever you are failing, you will be under grief. Grief means you are in a lot of sorrow. So what will happen in the sorrow? We would like to mention in the last time. In grief, you will find courage and faith to overcome the setback. Here what else? People say, whenever we are in failure, our mind gets disturbed. And we will undergo in frustration. And the people undergo even losing their, breaking their heart, crying themselves. And let them cry, let them undergo, and let them feel sad about their wrong step earlier. So that particular one, in the grief only you will find a courage to overcome the setback. we come across a story. Once a Greek king was defeated by the neighboring king, and was this particular man was ran and to save his life. He was trying to rest in one of the caves where he identified a spider web, and the spider was trying to reach the web by the thread that he is holding, but he is trying and falling and trying and falling and trying and falling. But finally, without giving any attempt, without giving any give up, see, it reached its web itself. That particular act was inspired this king, and then he again gathered the large army, attacked on the king who captured his kingdom, and again he regained his kingdom, and he announced himself as a king of the kingdom. So here what is a continuous effort and never giving a spirit also are very important things. Here now what is whenever you are in grief, then in grief you will think yourself that you have a lot of courage to proceed further. Even if you close the doors all and if you beat a cat also, it will attack you undoubtedly. So how does the cat will not attack in the normal sense, and but why does it attack in the closed doors? Because when it comes to its life and it wanted to rescue itself, it will attack the human being also, which is larger than for the size of a cat. So this same case, whenever you are in grief, definitely the grief will show you some sort of a way to overcome your setback, your failure, and to make your way in such a way that leads to have a proper success, proper way to success. Right, at the last point. We need to learn to become victors, not victims. So this is one of the debatable concepts. We need to become victors. Victors means people with a successful rate or successful people. And victims mean people who give up and they face the consequences of the particular failure. They go disappointed, they undergo in frustration, or they may not eat somewhere, or they even go to ultimate. They wanted to end up their life sometimes. So all this, if they do something wrong like that, that is we call it as victims. But if you are making yourself more consistent enough in making your efforts, reaching your successor, then automatically you are not victim. So we need to apply this one in our daily life also. We try to become victors, not victims. Okay, last one. Fear and doubt is not circle the mind. This is very important one. What do they say is fear and doubt. If you fear of any task, if you fear of any any challenge in your life, automatically what else? You may think that you will doubt about your own abilities. Can I able to do it? Do I have all that kind of an ability to face that particular one? You will doubt about your own capabilities. So never take fear in your mind or doubt in your mind. They will almost spoil your ideology in your mind. For example, in a well-furnished building, if there is a short circuit, what will happen? All the furniture will spoil, it burn to ashes. Similarly, when our mind is well-furnished house, never allow any kind of a electricity wrong connections like a fear or a doubt into your mind, so that will ruin your success. So better what we do is we keep it away and make our results more strong enough and never doubt about your capabilities. Everyone is capable enough making themselves successful in life. Nobody is inferior on earth at all, but everyone is superior in their own respective areas that we need to identify and keep minding this. So the today topic is this, my dear students, and we will see the upcoming lines in the further more session, and you keep practicing your earlier grammar that was already being recorded or written in your books, and keep practicing what I think in further sessions we better go with grammar rather than lesson that we already taught again teaching, is it not? So but what do we do? It's a fate. But anyhow, after this we try to go for the some more grammar point. Thank you very much, children. You please read the lines and understand it more thoroughly. Thank you very much.